And so I really wanted to see what her writing style was all about. And I feel kind of iffy about it when it comes down to it, truly. We are back for another Christian review of regular books, and today we are discussing The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. For those of you who haven't seen one of these videos before, first I do my regular review, my own personal opinion of the book, star rating, etc. But then I get into my Christian review, and that's where I go over the basic piece of a book that may or may not have a fellow believer or anyone wanting to read it. I do give a much more over-detailed information synopsis at a video that's pinned at the top of the playlist, or you can click somewhere. There should be a little tag there for you. If you didn't go click over there and you're still here, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can stay up to date on all of these Christian reviews of regular books because we are posting them all the time, plus me and my mom's podcast, which comes out twice a month. For now, let's go ahead and get into my regular review. The Midnight Feast was a NetGalley arc sent to me, so thank you so much to the publishers, William Morrow, plus NetGalley for the opportunity to read this arc. I read it only with my eyes because that's how I got the arc, and I was so excited to check it out. Up until this point, I had never read a Lucy Foley book, and so I really wanted to see what her writing style was all about. And I feel kind of iffy about it when it comes down to it, truly. This book had multiple timelines and multiple points of view, and the timeline skipped around. It wasn't like before and after. It was like 5 days before, 3 days after, 1 day before, 2 days after, 5 days before. So like it literally skipped back and forth and in all sorts of order. None of the before or after of the event really aligned or even went in any sort of order, which made this whole book extraordinarily confusing for me. Again, remember, I'm reading this solely with my eyes, which means it should be something that I can track and follow, but I had no clue where we were at a majority of the time. Basically, this book's synopsis is that it's kind of a murder mystery that's happening at a hotel or a B&B location. It's opening weekend and they're all getting together to have this like party and experience, and so much goes wrong, and also people are dying left and right. So that has a lot in there that I feel like would really be something I'd normally enjoy, but because of this timeline issue and because of Lucy Foley's writing for me personally, the whole thing just tended to feel really off. Additionally, it did have a lot of elements that felt very paranormal or intentional witchcraft like paganism as well. And for me, that's just not a book that I'll generally read. If it wasn't for the fact that it was an arc, I probably would have put it down at roughly the 10% mark. But I wanted to give it a fair shot, especially for the publisher, and ultimately I ended up rating it 2.5 stars. I'm gonna give more detail about the paranormal, witchcraft, paganism in my Christian review, so if you're wanting details on that, let's go ahead and head on over there now. You can find everything that I'm reading and rating in real time by following me on Goodreads. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and I do have my own YouTube channel, so if you're wanting to follow me in any or all of those places, you can click below in the links and check it out for yourself. But for now, let's go ahead and get into my Christian review. The first category, because it's popular, is smut or spice, and no, it's very minimal when there's like scenes that happen or fade to black, so that's a win. I feel like I'm actually kind of surprised, but I am very grateful. There was a lot of like partying happening in this story, so I'm surprised that there was nothing of more consequence there. The second category is violence or gore, and yes, there is a bit of violence and gore. There's a few scenes that are a bit squeamish, even for me, and so I think that's something good to keep in mind. There's also some talk about alcoholism or illicit drug use. But the last category that I told you I'd touch on is paranormal, and there is a fair bit of storyline in which that is the assumed narrative, that the character or the way that people are dying is paranormal and themed. It's honestly a little bit like Blair's Witchcraft Project in the way that the local forest is kind of happening, and it's very, very dark and twisted. Now, I kept reading again because it was an arc, and to spoil it for those of you who maybe aren't going to read it or don't want to read it, it is not paranormal at the end of the day, but the entire book, there are many, many discussions around paganism, paranormal activity, those types of things. Additionally, it was so extensive that I would skip past it, or I would speed read through it, or I would ignore it. And it was so much of the book that I'm not sure I really got to even fully grasp all that Lucy Foley was trying to describe, because it was a humongous chunk of the book. I think the right age for this book is 18 and up, mainly because of the darkness in it, more so than anything else. If the dark part of it does not bother you, I'd say 16 and up, but I really think that the darkness has a major role in how people or teens should be reading it. Please know we don't want to end the conversation here. You can do so by leaving us a comment down below and letting us know your thoughts on this book or other Lucy Foley books. I'd be curious to know if there's a book of hers that you love. Or you can send us an email at hello@trochia.org. I cannot wait to see you on the next one.